Hello, and welcome to the bookshelf. Thank you for joining me this evening. Now sit back, relax, and let's get into our story.
Arrival.
It started the day I moved into the cabin. My uncle had died 3 months prior, and I had inherited his property in northern Vermont, an old log cabin buried deep in the woods near the Canadian border. I'd been burnt out from city life and the spiraling anxiety that came with it, so a quiet retreat seemed perfect, a fresh start. The realtor gave me the keys and a knowing smile. It's quiet out there, just you, the trees, and whatever's still echoing around from the old days. She must have seen my face because she added, that was a joke. The place was rustic, but charming. The creaky floorboards, the wood-burning stove, the smell of cedar. It all felt authentic. My uncle had left everything behind. Furniture, books, kitchenware. Even his coffee mug still sat on the counter, like he just stepped out for a walk and forgotten to come back. The first few nights were uneventful, peaceful even. I spent my days chopping wood, reading, and trying to write. Nights were colder than I expected, the wind whispering through the cracks in the walls. I started hearing noises by the fourth night, soft knocks, rustling outside, a dragging sound across the porch. Probably just a raccoon, I muttered, but I checked anyway. Flashlight in hand, I opened the door. Nothing. Just trees and moonlight.
The footprints.
I woke up one morning to find wet footprints on the wooden floor inside the cabin. Bare footprints, long and thin, as if someone with emaciated feet had walked straight from the lake into the living room. They led from the front door to the center of the room and stopped. No prints going back, no trail leading away. I checked the door, locked. The windows were shut tight, no sign of forced entry. I told myself I must have tracked something in the night before, though I hadn't been near the lake in days. Still, I scrubbed the floor and tried to shake the unease. That night, I bolted the door and placed a small bell from my uncle's collection on the knob. I set a tripwire of string and hung a tin cup above the entrance. If anything opened that door, I'd hear it. I didn't sleep well. At 2:17 a.m., I sat bolt upright in the bed. The bell hadn't rung, the cup hadn't fallen, but something was inside the cabin. A soft creaking moved across the floorboard, slow, deliberate. I held my breath. The sound stopped just outside my bedroom. I whispered, "Hello?" Silence. I turned on the lamp. No one there. I opened the door and scanned the living room. Another set of wet footprints, darker this time, trailing from the front door to the kitchen, and this time I knew the door had never opened.
Journal of the Dead.
I started digging through my uncle's things, looking for answers. In a trunk beneath the bed, I found a worn leather journal. The first few entries were mundane: weather notes, wildlife sightings, some local history. Then came the strange parts. March 11th. It came to the door again. Didn't knock, just stood there. I watched it from the kitchen window. No face, just an indent where a mouth should be, a hollow spot. Didn't move for hours. March 17th. I made the mistake of letting it in, not on purpose. I fell asleep, and the door was open when I woke up. Wet footprints across the floor. I smelled the lake on its skin. April 2nd. It doesn't speak, but it wants something. Every night it gets closer to my room. I block the door with a chair, but it presses on it, gently, like it's trying to be invited. It's learning me. I slammed the journal shut. I should have left right then, driven to the nearest town and never looked back. But something kept me there. Maybe I thought I was tougher than my uncle. Maybe I thought it was just a shared hallucination, paranoia running in the family. Or maybe part of me wanted to see it.
The hollow one.
The next few nights were a blur. I stopped sleeping. The thing, whatever it was, grew bolder. I saw it at the edge of the woods in daylight, just standing, always in the same posture, shoulders slumped, head tilted slightly to one side, as if listening. At night, it was inside, not every time, not with noise, just there, somehow. I nailed the windows shut, salted the thresholds, hung charms from local folklore over the door. It didn't matter. I stopped going into the living room. The shadows there felt different, like the walls were breathing. I heard whispering from the fireplace, but every time I got close, it stopped. The footprints began appearing in my room. I set up a camera, my uncle's old Polaroid on a timer, and aimed it at the bed. In the morning, the photo was waiting for me, face down on the nightstand. I turned it over. The bed was empty, and there, standing beside it, was a tall, thin figure with skin like wet bark and no face, just a deep hollow where a mouth might go. His hand was extended, hovering inches above my pillow.
The mirror ritual.
The journal had one final entry, a passage about an old Algonquin ritual meant to bind spirits that wander too far from death. It required a mirror, blood, and the name of the entity. I didn't have a name. I tried anyway. I drew a circle in salt and placed a mirror inside it. I cut my palm and smeared the blood along the frame. Then I stared at my reflection and whispered, "I bind you, Hollow One." Nothing happened. I repeated it louder, and then the mirror's reflection changed. It no longer showed the cabin or me, just black trees and shallow water. A face, not mine, stared back. It was the thing, the Hollow One. It blinked, then smiled. The mirror cracked. I blacked out.
Parasite.
When I woke up, everything felt wrong. The cabin looked the same, but the light was off, like it filtered through water. Sounds were muffled. My body felt heavy, and my mouth tasted like ash. I looked down and saw wet footprints leading from the mirror to where I lay, and I realized I hadn't stopped it. I had invited it in. It had hollowed me out. There are gaps in my memory now. I lose hours, sometimes days. People from the nearby town have stopped coming up the trail. They say the woods are too still. The animals don't go near the cabin anymore. But sometimes hikers pass by, and sometimes they come up to the porch, and sometimes I let them in.
The final entry.
If you're reading this, I'm already gone. You'll hear footsteps tonight. You'll think you're alone, but you won't be. You'll see the footprints. You'll smell the lake. Don't speak to it. Don't look at it. And whatever you do, don't answer the knocks. Because once you let it in, it doesn't leave. It just wears you.